We've all seen it. You walk into a big, expensive conference room, there's a beautiful 4K display on the wall, someone plugs in their laptop, and nothing.
Or just flickering. You get that awful flicker.
Right. And it's almost always because someone tried to run a standard HDMI cable just a bit too far.
Yep. Physics always wins in the end. HDMI is fantastic for short distances, from your console to your TV, but it just wasn't built for a marathon run across a room.
Which brings us to the piece of hardware we're looking at today. It's the Kramer TP-580R. It's listed as an HDMI receiver, but really it's the solution to that whole flickering screen problem.
It really is. It's basically the bridge that lets professional AV setups cheat those distance limits. And it does it using a technology called HDBaseT.
This isn't just a simple booster. It's actually doing the signal conversion, right? It's using that standard CCAT cabling that's probably already in the walls.
That's the critical distinction. An HDMI signal is like a high-pressure fire hose of data. It degrades really quickly. This device, being an HD-based receiver, converts that stream into something more like internet data.
Into packets.
Exactly, into robust packets that can travel a long way through a noisy environment without falling apart. Then at the other end, it just gets reassembled into a perfect HDMI signal again.
Okay, so let's talk about just how far. The specs here on its long-reach capabilities say it can push 4K video up to 40 meters. That's 130 feet. But I did notice a little detail in there.
Yeah.
4K at 60 hertz with 4.2.0 color sampling. That suggests there's some kind of compression going on, doesn't it?
It does, and that's a really smart catch. To push that much data, the heavy 4K signal, the full 130 feet over copper, you have to save bandwidth somewhere.
If 4.2.0 is how they do it.
Right. It basically reduces the color information a bit while keeping all the brightness data.
So are you going to notice that as the viewer?
Honestly, for almost all video content, no. It's virtually invisible to the human eye. Now, if you were doing, say, high-end medical imaging or something with super fine text, maybe you'd see a tiny difference.
No,
But it's a very clever trade-off to get that range.
And I see here, if you step the quality down to standard 1080p, the range jumps pretty significantly.
Oh, yeah, up to 70 meters, which is around 230 feet. And because it's HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.2 compliant, you're not losing the other modern features. It still supports deep color, lip sync, all of that.
And the audio, too. It mentions it can handle up to 32 channels of uncompressed digital stereo.
Which is vital. You can't have the audio getting out of sync with the video just because the cable run is long.
Now, let's talk about the intelligence in this thing.
Yeah.
We all hate that HDMI handshake issue where you plug something in and have to wait. This lists something called IED Pro. I assume that's meant to fix that.
It is. It basically forces the introduction between the source and the display. It passes the display's identity card, its EDI data instantly.
So it's a true plug-and-play experience.
Yes, it prevents those annoying connection errors.
It also seems to handle control signals both ways. I see ports for RS-232 and IR.
That's huge for system integrators. The IR, the infrared, is the really user-friendly feature there.
Yes.
It means you can point your remote control at the TV, and that command travels all the way back up the line to the media player that's hidden in a closet 100 feet away.
Ah, so the clutter stays hidden, but the control feels like it's right there.
Exactly.
Speaking of hidden, the physical design is a Digitools enclosure. It's fanless, which I imagine is a must-have if you're mounting this in a ceiling.
You can't have a buzzing fan over a quiet boardroom table. This is silent. It's also designed to be rack-mountable. You can fit 3 of them side by side in a single rack space.
So let's talk price. The site lists at today's price about $236.
Yeah, and that puts it in a very specific category. For a home user, that might feel steep.
Sure.
But for a venue installer, it's cheap insurance, the cost of a failed presentation, or having to tear open a wall to replace a bad cable is way, way higher than the cost of this box.
It really is like the invisible plumbing of the modern digital world.
That's the perfect way to frame it. We all obsess over the resolution of the screen, but without these kinds of devices managing the data transport, none of that beautiful imagery would ever reach our eyes.
The best tech really is the stuff you never even notice is working.